Hello friends, and welcome back to Bookmas. If we haven't met before, welcome to my channel. My name is Haley, and in today's video, I am going to be going over some 2026 new releases. I've been searching online, looking through Goodreads, and I feel like I found a lot of really exciting new releases for 2026, so I'm excited to go through all of them with you guys. Some of them are books that were already on my radar previously, books that are sequels, and some of them are just some other new releases that I had not heard of previously before researching this. So I have a lot that I'm very excited about and excited to share with you guys. The majority of the books I found do come out more in the first half of the year, so there will be a lot of exciting new releases in the first half of 2026. And like I said before, I did find all of this information on Goodreads or on Google, so some of these release dates still may be subject to change. This is just the information I have found at the time that I'm filming this, and I'm sure once I'm done filming this, even more 2026 book releases will be announced, so this is just what I have found at the time that I'm filming. But I'm very excited to go through all of the ones that I've found and that I'm looking forward to. I've got my Christmas mug, I'm feeling festive, so grab a drink, get cozy, and let's start talking about these new releases. So the first one is The Swan's Daughter by Roshani Chokshi, and this releases on January 6th. This is one I don't know too much about. I just came across this one while I was looking online, and it says, in this lush and enchanting novel, a prince is only as good as his beating heart, and a maiden is only as good as her honest word. But when love and the truth become impossibly tangled, the two must figure out how to survive together or fall completely apart. So it seems like this one is a romantic fantasy novel. We have a prince, we have a maiden. It sounds like it could be kind of a cozy read, and I'm always looking for new fantasy romance books to read, so I'm excited about this. And what better way to start the new year than with a new fantasy romance? Next is The Fruit of the Flesh by Ivy Ophelia, and this releases on January 20th. And this is one I'm really looking forward to. This is the author that wrote The Poisoner, which is a book that I really love. And this one says, behind the glamour of Gilded Age New York, a marriage of convenience between an artisan and a ballerina masks their shared appetite for revenge in this darkly seductive gothic romance. So this is another gothic romance. That is Ivy Ophelia's main genre. I absolutely love gothic romance, and I already know that I love Ivy Ophelia's writing, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I have some friends that got an advanced reader copy of this book and they really loved it, so I have very high hopes for this one. And if you like gothic romance, this is definitely one to have on your radar. The next new release is The Lies That Summon the Night by Tessonia Odette. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This book releases on February 3rd, and this one says, lies, beauty, and seduction mingle in the first book of an enthralling romantasy series where making art is considered a sin, and the shadows born from it aren't the only danger to the creators. So that one sounds really interesting. Another new romantasy book, another new romantasy series. I don't think I've heard of this author before, but I'm definitely interested in this one, and I will be keeping an eye out for it come February. The next book is Tortured Souls by Melissa K. Rorick. This is releasing on February 12th. And this was very recently announced. This is going to be Melissa's next series, which I'm so excited for. Melissa wrote the Lady of Darkness series and the Legacy series, which was recently completed in November, so both of those are completed series, and this will be her next new series. It is going to be a dark fantasy romance series, and I believe it is going to be a prequel to the Lady of Darkness series. So I believe this new series will be focusing on those characters that we met in this series and learning about their past before we met them in Lady of Darkness. And I think some new characters will be introduced as well, so I am really looking forward to that, because if you didn't know, Lady of Darkness, the Legacy series are my god tier series, and honestly anything Melissa writes I will read. I absolutely love her books, I love her writing, I love this interconnected universe she is creating, so I am really looking forward to that one, and it is a highly anticipated release for me in 2026. The next new release I'm really excited for is Half City by Kate Golden. This is releasing on February 17th. It says this book is a blend of genres, including urban fantasy, romantic fantasy, and dark academia, which sounds incredible to me. I recently came across this book while I was just scrolling on Instagram and immediately added it to my list because this just sounds like something I will really love. I will read a little bit of the blurb so you guys have a better idea what this one is about. It says, welcome to Harker Academy for Deviant Defense. Keep your daggers sharp and your wits even sharper. Viv Abbott is an average 21-year-old girl. She lives in an expensive city where the rent is too high, works long hours at a thankless job, and is dating a guy she doesn't even like in the hopes of winning her prickly mother's approval. She also happens to be a demon hunter. Ever since her father's murder, she's been forced to hunt deviants alone, meaning everyone, including her family, sees her as an outsider, until the day she crosses paths with a dangerously alluring demon, Reed Graveheart. The reformed deviant tells her of a school for people just like her, Harker Academy for Deviant Defense. If she enrolls, she'll learn to hone her craft, work with other hunters, and never be alone again. But Viv has a deadly secret, one that not even her new friends at Harker can know about, not if the school might hold the answers to untangling the mystery surrounding Viv's father's death. When strange occurrences begin to plague the students, Viv will have to figure out who she can trust, all while trying to ace her classes, avoid falling for a demon, and make it through her first year at Harker in one piece. How hard could that be? This sounds like it's going to be so good. I am really excited for this one. The next book is To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast, and this releases on March 3rd. This one is the first book in a dystopian romance series. I believe this is her debut novel, and I'll read the little blurb here. It says, "Enter the brutal world of Enlock, a prison where the wealthy hunt the inmates for sport. The first novel in an electrifying dystopian romance series, this high-octane debut about forbidden love, found family, and a fight for survival will leave you breathless." I have been looking forward to this one for a little while now. I've seen some people online reading advanced copies of this book and really enjoying it. Dystopian books have been making a bit of a comeback in 2025, so I'm excited for that to continue in 2026, and I'm excited to read some more dystopian books, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Next, I have Inamorata by Ava Reid, and this releases on March 26th. This is another one I have had my eye on for a little bit. I believe it is a gothic book. I haven't read anything by Ava Reid, but I know she has some popular books like Juniper and Thorn and Lady Macbeth, so I have definitely been wanting to pick up one of her books for a while, and this new release in particular really has piqued my interest. This one says, "A visionary and atmospheric gothic fantasy about necromancy, vengeance, and soul-consuming love," and it is the first in a duology. That sounds exactly like my type of book, so I have really high hopes for that one. I will definitely be picking that one up when it releases. I'm very excited. And honestly, I love a good duology, so I'm definitely ready to read some more duologies in 2026. The next book is Rights of the Starling by Devney Perry. This releases on April 7th, and it is the sequel to Shield of Sparrows. I really enjoyed this book. I read it a few months ago. If you don't know what Shield of Sparrows is about, it is a slow burn, high stakes romantasy where enemies become lovers, monsters stalk a cursed realm, and a forgotten princess finds the strength to tear off her crown and become the warrior she was never meant to be. This book has a marriage of convenience, a really fantastic slow burn romance. It has really unique monsters in it. I thought this was a great romantasy, and the way this book ended has me very excited for book 2, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. The next book is The Arachnid by Ivy Ophelia, and this releases on April 14th. This book is actually the sequel to The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia, and I should mention that these books were actually recently picked up for traditional publishing, so this book is actually being re-released in January. I believe it is releasing on January 16th, so the traditionally published version of this book will be coming out first, and then we will have The Arachnid coming in April. If you haven't heard of The Poisoner, it is a gothic historical vampire romance, and I absolutely loved this book. This book was just so entertaining. It has a great plot, great characters. The witty banter between the main characters in this is so good. So I am really looking forward to the sequel, and I'm also very intrigued to see where it will go because there is a 2-year time jump in the next book. So I'm very curious to see how that will all play out, but I am really looking forward to this book. The next book is The Ballad of Falling Dragons by Sarah A. Parker, and this releases on April 28th. And this is the sequel to When the Moon Hatched. Now, at the time that I'm filming this, I have actually just started reading this book. I'm only a few chapters in, so I'll read the little blurb about what it's about in case you don't know. When the Moon Hatched is a fast-paced fantasy romance featuring an immersive, vibrant world with mysterious creatures, a unique magic system, and a love that blazes through the ages. This has been a very highly anticipated read for me, and so far I am enjoying it. The writing in this, even right from the start, is very beautiful and lyrical, and I'm just so excited to see how this story will unfold. So I definitely wanted to include this one on my list because after I finished When the Moon Hatched, I think I will be really looking forward to the next book. And I'm pretty sure the release date for this book had previously been pushed back a few times, so I know a lot of other people are really looking forward to this release as well. The next book is Broken Dove by Danny Francis, and this releases on May 12th. This book is the sequel to Silver Elite, and this is a dystopian romance book, and honestly I saw a lot of mixed reviews about this book, However, I really enjoyed it myself. I had a lot of fun with this one. I thought this was fast-paced. I thought the plot was action-packed. I really enjoyed the romance in this. And again, there were some twists at the end of this one that have me really looking forward to the next book. So this is one I will absolutely be picking up when it releases. The next book is Deathbringer by Sonia Tagliarenni, which releases on May 12th. This is a new release I just recently came across, and this one says, for fans of Naomi Novik and Carrie Maniscalco, a dark academia romantasy steeped in necromancy, forbidden love, and a twisty murder mystery about a death mage who hates her magic and a poison mage who hates her that are forced to work together to stop a killer before one of them is next. So we have another one that blends romantasy and dark academia, and I'm very excited for that. I feel like I'm someone who absolutely loves that blend of genres, so I think this will be really good as well. And it's also got a murder mystery plot, so I think that will just be so entertaining. I am really looking forward to this one. Okay, the next book I think will be a highly anticipated release for a lot of people. It is Lightwielder by Rachel Schneider, and this releases on May 19th. And if you don't know, this book is the sequel to Metal Slinger. I believe this is just a duology, but this is a fantasy romance book, and I absolutely loved this. The plot is entertaining, the romance is fantastic. This book just feels like a classic romantasy with tropes that we know and love, done really well. And this book also has one of the most jaw-dropping plot twists I have ever read. I was completely shocked by it, and it has me so excited for the next book. But one thing about the sequel is it has a 4-year time jump, and that is all I've read in the blurb about this book. I don't know what else is set to happen. I kind of want to keep it that way. I definitely want to go in blind and be just totally surprised again, because I knew nothing about Metal Slinger when I first read it, and I do think that is the best way to go into that book. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how things will play out in book 2. The next book is Realmblade by Greenwich and Lennox, and this releases on May 26th. And this is book 3 in the Riftborn series. I don't actually know what this series is called, but I know this is the first book. Riftborn is the first book. And again, at the time that I'm filming this, I have actually just started reading this. I am also a few chapters into this one, and honestly, it has me hooked right off the bat. So I will be reading Duskbound after this one, and I am definitely looking forward to Realmblade in 2026. And again, because I'm not too far into this book yet, I don't know too much about the series as a whole, but what I do know is it is a fantasy romance series, and it is following our female main character who 20 years after a rebellion is trying to navigate a prejudiced city while hiding a growing power. So I'm very excited to continue reading Riftborn and continue this whole series, and I'm sure by the time this book releases, I will be ready to pick it up. The next book is Steelborn by Taylor J. LaRue, and this releases on July 28th. This is another one that I just recently came across and thought it sounded really good. I believe this one also has a bit of a genre blend. It says it is a romantic fantasy and a sci-fi fantasy novel, which sounds interesting. And this one says, enter a world ruled by tyrants and thieves, where magic is outlawed, revolution brews, desire is dangerous, and an impossible cure may prove deadlier than the curse. Introducing an epic, slow-burn enemies to lovers romantasy novel about a heroine forged in steel and rage, and the cursed immortal who might turn out to be as much her salvation as she is his. Perfect for fans of Danielle L. Jensen and Callie Hart. And I do really love both of those authors, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The next book is The Knave and the Moon by Rachel Gillig. This is book 2 in the Stonewater Kingdom duology, and it releases on September 1st. It is the sequel to The Night and the Moth, which I absolutely love. This is a gothic fantasy romance duology. The writing is so stunning and lyrical. The magic was really unique. I love the plot in this. Our female main character is a diviner, and our male main character is a knight, and they have to go on this big adventure together. And this has the greatest side character of all time, the gargoyle. But this book definitely had a cliffhanger ending, so I am really looking forward to book 2, and I'm sure a lot of other people are really looking forward to book 2 as well. Rachel Gillig is just one of my favorite authors. She also wrote the Shepherd King duology, so One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, which are also 2 of my favorite books. So I really can't wait for this release. It's another one of my most anticipated releases of 2026, and I think September is the perfect time for its release. The next book on this list was pretty recently announced, and it was actually a very huge announcement because people have been waiting for the announcement of this book for quite some time. It is Deadbeat by Leigh Bardugo, which is book 3 in the Alex Stern series. The official date has not been announced yet when I'm filming this, but I do know it will be released in September. And if you don't know, the first book in that series is Ninth House, and I recently read Ninth House for the first time and I absolutely loved it. This book is a blend of dark academia, fantasy and occult magic, murder mystery, and paranormal elements. So I thought this was a very unique read and I really loved it. I still need to read book 2 in that series, which is called Hellbent, but I have put that book on my 26 books in 2026 list, so I am hoping to read it earlier in 2026 so that I can pick up Deadbeat when it releases later in the year. So I know this is going to be a very exciting release for a lot of people and I'm definitely looking forward to it myself. And the last somewhat official book I have on this list is Wretched Divine by Adeline Grace, and this releases on October 6th. This is the author who wrote the Belladonna series, which I still need to read. I am hoping to read that in 2026 as well because I have really been wanting to read it for a while. And Wretched Divine is Adeline's adult debut, so that is very exciting. It says this book is the first in a trilogy set in a French Renaissance-inspired kingdom about a young knight who is caught in a warring attraction between a vengeful demon and a battle-hardened angel as she's thrust into the middle of an ancient supernatural conflict. So that sounds very cool and very interesting. So the start of a new fantasy romance trilogy, and I'm very excited to read that one. Okay, now I have a few books written down here that don't have official release dates. I have just heard whispers here and there that these books might be releasing in 2026, so I thought I would just mention them anyways, just in case. First is the Boys of Tommen series. I have heard that Chloe Walsh is planning to release book 7 in 2026, which is the next book in the Boys of Tommen series, and I know a lot of people will be thrilled if that happens. That is a series that I have really enjoyed. I don't usually love sports romance series, but this is so much more than that, and I have really loved reading it, so fingers crossed that book 7 actually does come out in 2026. Next is book 3 in the Eating Woods trilogy by Carrie Lake. Book 2 in that trilogy just came out this year, which was Eldritch, and I think I remember reading at the end of that book, she had a page that said book 3 is hopefully coming in 2026, so I think that's where I got this information, and I'm hoping that will be the case, because that is my favorite gothic fantasy series, and book 2 had a big cliffhanger, so I cannot wait for book 3. And then the last book is Tempest by Victoria Aveyard, which I believe is going to be an adult pirate fantasy romance book. I'm not sure if it's a series or a duology, but I believe that's what the first book is about. And again, I've seen her talking about it a bit on her social media. Haven't seen a specific release date, but I think it could be coming in 2026. I haven't read any of her other books, but that one sounds interesting, so I'm intrigued with that, and I guess we will see if that one comes in 2026 as well. Okay, so those are all of the new releases I have on my radar for 2026. For now, at least. I'm sure there will be more new releases announced soon in the coming months. If you have any new releases on your radar that I didn't mention in this video, definitely let me know down in the comments so that I can add them to my list and be excited about those as well. I just know there's going to be so many more new releases that are announced soon and more books that I'm going to be excited about, and honestly, I love that. I cannot wait to see what else is coming out in 2026. So yeah, definitely let me know if you have any other new releases on your radar, or if you're excited about any of these books as well. I would love to know if you are. That is all for today's video. I am so excited for 2026 and all of the new releases that are coming. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and spending another day of Bookmas with me. I'm having so much fun doing Bookmas for the first time, and I hope you guys are enjoying these videos, and I will see you guys in the next Bookmas video. Bye!